Whole bunch of news about food stamp changes just came out, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to look at it. We're going to see what people are talking about. Before we jump into that, this lady here, Miss Unique, goes in pretty hard. It's kind of funny. I like this clip. Let's check this out first, and then we're going to see the changes of the food stamps.
Now, I'm so glad you young ladies are seeing now what's going on was really real with these food stamps. So many women are in an uproar about their food stamps and how they're going to feed their children because you have so many of them. And then you look at this TikTok app and you see how these men downrating y'all and talking about y'all, talking about if y'all hadn't had all these children and what do you expect? And not once have they came to y'all rescue and said something like this. Well, if the baby dads need to stand up and help these women take care of their children. Nah, they ain't gonna speak up for you. They just gonna talk about y'all and how stupid y'all was for having kids by these men. They gonna tell y'all something like this. You should have picked the right men. You should have had better choices men. But I'm gonna tell you this. Now you're learning to keep your legs closed. Stop letting these jokers sleep with you, impregnate you, and now you making videos because you can't afford to feed them. And guess what them jokers doing? Out there spreading somebody else's legs, doing the same thing, and making videos about you and how you should have made the right choices in men. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna tell you facts. Stop sleeping with these jokers now. And I'm glad the government doing what they doing. These men gonna be hurt because you women gonna see what's going on now when you don't get no help. You think you ain't get no help from the man, your baby daddies. Boy, look what's going on now because the government cutting everything out. And I just made a video. God dog it, they even cutting the Job Corps. Stop sleeping with these men, and then they can't make no videos. They gonna start making videos about how hard it is with them working 2 jobs because they got to take care of family and their kids and step up to the plate. I want to see these videos when these men start talking about how hard they got to work when you women stop opening y'all legs. That's what
Wow. I had to just let her talk. I had to let you guys hear that whole clip. She went in. What do you guys think about that? She's talking about women picking the wrong men, having kids with. Honestly, big part of what I hear though is the nuclear family. People are told to be like self-dependent and all that. And these days, a dual income household's the way to go for most people. That's a big part of why there's so much struggling going on, right? Now, let's see. Let's jump into these changes that are happening. Okay. I just want to have a little bit of fun with that clip. All right. Let's see what these changes are.
Starting Monday, September 1st, SNAP benefits are changing. So if you currently receive SNAP benefits or you're thinking about applying for benefits in the very near future, you need to watch this video. But look at this right here. It says SNAP rule changes. Work requirements go into effect on Monday. Here's what you need to know.
And that's Monday as in September 1st.
Now, this is something that the Trump administration did in the One Big Beautiful Bill. They made it so able-bodied Americans will actually go back to work, not just staying at home and receiving SNAP benefits and other things. And I understand a lot of people are struggling to get back to work for whatever reason. Some can't work for because of disabilities and things like that. And that's what this program's for. But I want to show you the changes here. Look at this right here. It says, changes to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program brought on by the passage of the Big Beautiful Bill last month are scheduled to go into effect on Monday. It says DHS officials said they are still waiting for information from the federal government on how states must implement the changes. There's a lot of issues right now.
So among these changes, this is just food stamps. There's also going to be big changes we're going to be hearing about with health insurance, people losing their subsidies on their Obamacare plans. Let me know if you guys want me to make a kind of a deep dive video on that.
Some states don't understand what their role is, and this could actually cause your benefits to be delayed. That's part of the problem.
Delayed.
This It says benefits to recipients will not change without notice from DHS, according to the agency. It says recipients will also have the chance to update their case information. What they are trying to do, and I've talked to many people about this, what some states are on the hook for is they have been letting certain residents skate by without updating any information. They're using the same information the same income, the same household size, everything from during the pandemic. That has not been updated from certain states. And that's where the Trump administration says, no, we are not going to just allow all these people to receive benefits when many of them have actually gone back to work.
So what they want to do, obviously, is they want to recheck, are you actually eligible?
Look at this. It says, be on the lookout for more information from DHS. Keep your address and other contact information up to date with DHS and the U.S. Postal Service. But what does this mean? Okay. Well, starting on September 1st, 2025, which is tomorrow, the federal government's rules on how long certain people can receive SNAP benefits are changing. This is why it's turning into an issue. Here you go. It says, under these new federal rules, to keep or become eligible for SNAP benefits, starting...
Okay. So let me go back to that clip because he cut that off right
Monday,
there.
September rules to keep...
So work at least 20 hours a week, and that includes work, volunteering, or participating in some programs. People have challenges finding work. There are some people that look like they're going to be waived from this, like mental health issues, children under 18. So maybe it's not as bad as it seems for some people.
What are the current SNAP benefits looking like for 2025? Let's get into it. So SNAP has two work requirements, general work requirements and the able-bodied adult without dependent requirement. Okay, so let's talk about what this is going to look like. And this is going to be state by state too, but it's going to vary. That's what I heard. But anyway, to keep your SNAP benefits, you are going to need to show that you are actively working and looking for work, meaning you're going to have to keep a job diary. You're going to have to, if you even have volunteer work and you don't get paid for it, you're working, okay? They want to see that. If you're volunteering, you will still be eligible for your SNAP. Keep working at least 30 hours per week and don't quit or cut down your hours because that will affect your SNAP requirements as well. All right, let's get into quickly the able-bodied adult without a dependent. Between ages 18 and 64 range has changed. But okay, you need to meet additional work requirements to get SNAP for no longer than 3 months or over 3 years. You can meet requirements by working at least 80 hours a month, participating in a work program for at least 80 hours a month, or...
Did they just say up to 3 years? They might be limiting SNAP benefits for 3 years too. Max.
We're doing both for a total of at least 80 hours a month. This doesn't have to be for a paycheck. It can be unpaid volunteer work or work done in exchange for something other than money. Strange things for some change, might we say. Let's get into who is exempt from the work requirements. So unable to work due to a physical and mental disability, pregnant, have dependents, or live with someone under 14 who is a part of your household. So if you have a child and they're under 14, you are exempt from this requirement. However, if your child's over 14, you are not exempt from this requirement.
Child over 14, she said?
You are exempt from this requirement. However, if your child's over 14, you are not exempt from this requirement.
Over 14?
If you live in high unemployment rates where SNAP work requirements have been waived, you are exempt from this requirement. So let's get into how did SNAP requirements change under the big beautiful bill. Adults between 55 and 64. So before it was you were waived. You didn't have to, any adult 55 didn't have to worry about this, but now they just pushed it to 64. Do you believe that? 64 years old.
They want you to keep working.
Parents with older children.
Work till you die.
That's how it got changed too, okay? Veterans now are required, and people in areas with high unemployment also now are required. Prior to that, they would exempt you, but now that's not working. Everybody has to work.
What do you think about that? Even areas with high unemployment rates where nobody can find a job, you have to work or you get no benefits. That's going to have some repercussions. Things are going to happen, huh?
They don't care if there's 4 jobs in your area. You have to try to get it or you have to volunteer. That's just what it is. Again, they're going to sit down on September 30th and they're going to have everything in place. So I don't know what this is going to look like for New York City, but That's insane. Six.
Yeah. Looks like the loophole that I think people can use if they need to, or will use if they just want to, is logging volunteer hours. I mean, that's the move. What do you think, man? What do you think how do you think this is going to affect a lot of people, especially ones that like definitely need the help? I don't know. We're going to find out though over the next month or two, huh?